In this time of profound uncertainty, many of us yearn for answers. When will the need for social isolation end? When can we go back to normal? When can we go back to normal worship? What should we be doing to keep safe? What balance should there be between the danger of the virus and the danger of a broken economy? How can we help? What are we supposed to be doing? Or how can we make it when we're already so tired? With yearning for answers as deep as what many of us have now, it's easy to decide to just pick some authoritative voice or another, someone who sounds like they know what they're talking about, and go with their answers. It's a temptation right now. With that temptation comes the temptation to maybe break into camps surrounding different authority figures and disagree on that basis. I can get the temptation. I'd really like answers too. I'd really like to know if antibodies provide immunity. That seems really important. We don't know yet. But I find I'm mostly appreciating the experts who speak from a place of humility, who admit what they don't know and what they need to know in order to answer the big questions. I appreciate the sort of guidelines that say, if you can do these things, then this might be okay to try. But if it doesn't work, you're going to have to change it. Those are the sorts of answers that feel real to me, honest and trustworthy. And no matter how much I want clear, firm answers, I also know they don't exist. So I'd rather have honest ones. I think all of this is on my mind because of the metaphor in the gospel lesson about the sheep knowing the shepherd's voice and following the shepherd because they know and trust the shepherd. It leads to a question of who we trust, who we know, and who we follow. The gospel also says that the shepherd knows the sheep, though, by name, and leads them by being out front and letting them follow from a place of security. And the gospel says that the sheep will not follow a voice that they don't know. So I've been thinking about the voices we hear and the ones we trust and why. It may be that I think about this more than the average person because of my actual name. I am Sara Barron. Sara being from the Hebrew for princess, and sheep being from Polish for extra dumb sheep. So I am Reverend Princess of the Dumb Sheep, not meant to insult anyone other than maybe myself. But I really think a lot about this shepherd imagery and what it means. So, I wonder how much we trust our own voices and how much we trust ourselves to be a means of grace, to be connected to the divine. From my own experiences of being a human, and it's possible I'm just an exceptional case in this regard, my own voice mostly sounds like a cacophony of dissonant voices who disagree about mostly everything. So finding my real, authentic voice is not an easy task, nor is trusting it. And yet, that being said, I've come to believe, along with the Quakers and many other people of many different faith traditions, that God has already given us the wisdom we need to face and respond to our own lives, to make good decisions, to respond to the challenges we face, even now. And yet, we don't always know how to listen. I've done several trainings now in the teachings of Parker Palmer. I'm looking forward to doing more. Parker Palmer is a practicing Quaker. And the trainings have been on listening to my own soul. In them, I've learned a few important things. Souls are shy. They do not show up on command. They run away if they feel unsafe. And they need time in order to share their wisdom. Souls are wise. They really do know what we need to know. Emotions are a direct line to souls. Souls most often express themselves in art and non-linearity, which, by the way, is something I really hate because I'm much better at other linear things. Souls are most often willing to show up when other people's souls are present, because from other people's souls being present, they learn that they're in a safe and trustworthy space. And this is the key of it all. It's a little bit confusing. Maybe it doesn't make any sense at all, but I still believe it to be true. One's soul and the way one experiences God's wisdom within are one and the same. I know there's a lot there. I can't really unpack it. I just believe it. So, I know that not everyone has extra time right now to get quiet and listen to our own souls, to do art projects and figure out what our souls are saying. And I know that lots of us are deeply overwhelmed, and that is being expressed quite often in big emotions or quasi-stoicism. So lots of big emotions or just no emotions. But I think that little things can make a big difference. We're living through a very difficult time, and we need all the support we can get, certainly including the support of our own spirituality. So some in this church have continued their Lenten gratitude journals, naming 5 things they're grateful for each day and writing them down. Some are taking walks and noticing the beauty of spring. Some are calling people or writing to people to build up connections. I know that everyone is doing their best to find meaning, to deepen life, even when it's hard. And I encourage all of us to intentionally seek the wisdom of our own souls so that we can learn when, or maybe how, to rest, and when, or maybe how, to act, so that the wisdom of our souls can guide us through the moments when it feels like wolves are after us. Find the way to breathe when we're stuck and need to wait for help. Now, the harder thing is to find guidance on how to do that when our realities are so different right now. So I'm going to share with everyone the simplest idea I have right now, the one that I would hope would be useful for everyone, regardless of your current circumstances. This is a Sara and Christian adaptation of teaching from the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. So when you're feeling something, be it something very, very quiet that you can just barely hear, or something so big it feels like it's going to overwhelm you, let it become a breath prayer. This can be anger or sadness, loneliness or boredom, fear or impatience, any emotion. And then you use it. So I'm going to use loneliness, for example. Oh God, I'm feeling so lonely. So breathe in on oh God, and breathe out on I'm feeling this. Or so this. It depends on how you're feeling. Oh God, I'm feeling lonely. Oh God, I'm feeling bored. Repeat the prayer with each breath until the feeling itself feels heard and softens its grip on you. Because when your feelings are heard, then your soul is heard. You've expressed yourself and you've connected with the divine, and that's part of how you keep on going. This is a tiny little piece of letting your own voice be heard. by yourself and God, and acknowledged and even validated. Thich Nhat Hanh in his teaching says that when we're having particularly difficult emotions and when we're speaking those breath prayers, it is like treating the tender part of our souls the way we would treat an upset infant, picking them up, acknowledging them, soothing them. We don't shame babies because they're upset, and so we don't need to shame our emotions, even if we're a little bit scared of them. Rather, we can take our emotions seriously for as long as it takes, even if this involves multitasking. I don't actually think that any of us can listen well to God while we are silencing our own wisdom. I don't think we can hear our own wisdom when we're silencing our emotions. So, dear ones, I hope that you will take enough time for yourself, for your spiritual well-being, for your wisdom development, to breathe and pray and name your own feelings. And I hope this works for you as a way to get to know the voice of God better, and as a way of responding to God's voice of love in your life.